Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
G'day everyone, welcome to another edition of Send It Mate podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Josh.
And I'm Couchy.
And tonight we have a guest, the most requested, the man, the motherfucking
The
meme
legend.
machine. We've got Cody Gearon.
Finally.
Everyone, you've cried out, you've asked for the man to be on, you've
Broken Caleb's will.
shamed us. You've shamed us and said, why the hell has he not been on the podcast yet? And basically what I said in response was, you got to treat him mean and keep him keen.
Welcome, Kate.
This is Caleb's defense mechanism, by the way.
No,
Fair enough. I'll make a phone call to let your family go, mate.
Ooh. Hey, we're supposed to keep that quiet, man. But no, we do have the man Cody on. He's been very kind. He's been a great sponsor. He's been a great supporter of our show and always sings out and has a bit to say to us. And as most people would know, loves making a meme or two. Cody, what have you been up to today, man? How's your day been?
Yeah, no, we've just been doing a bit of cattle work today, but yeah, no, not much apart from that. Been pretty quiet.
What does a bit of cattle work involve? Like, when's your day start for you?
Oh, well, today being a Wednesday night, I would take the young fella to school and buddy shot out 45 minutes out to the farm to start out there. We had a buyer to come out and meet us today, so we had to get about 80 head in to the yard for him to have a look at, to give us the thumbs up to say they're good enough to go to the feedlot and load those on and ship over to another property and start marking calves over there.
Yeah, wow.
all the same owner?
Yeah, no, all our cattle that we run.
Yeah.
So all dad's cattle.
Oh, it's your family station.
No, well, we lease different properties.
Yeah.
So like some properties we own and other properties we lease off other blocks, but we manage most of it just between, me and dad manage most of it, and occasionally mum gives us the help on the farm, or sometimes the missus or the brothers do.
That's right, the old family outfit. How do you find working with the family, man? It can be a blessing and a curse, can't it?
Oh, I've been doing it since I dropped out of high school, so I don't know any different. So.
How much property do you guys sort of run?
Right now, I don't have a clue, but if you asked me back in 2019, we were running about 17,000 acres.
Fucking hell.
That's all right. Keep you busy.
Yeah, no, it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
How many head of cattle are you running? I'm presuming just Angus or
Oh, well, we mostly Angus because that's what the market's chasing, but usually like we run a few different things like Herefords and Limousin's and the odd Murray Grey here and there. But yeah, mostly Angus is what we aim for because that's what the buyers like to look at.
You, what are the cattle prices doing at the moment? Are they any good, or is it a good time or a bad time? I have no idea, man. So what's the go?
They dropped 35 cents a kilo today. So
In comparison to what's the actual price now?
I'm not entirely sure what the price is now because I only just get told what's lost and what's been told. But in the comparison, in the last big truckload that we sold, well, what we sold today was $75,000 less.
Oh,
bloody hell.
That's
painful.
That's painful, man.
Just a bit. And yeah, you're still going to bloody, with inflation the way the world's going on, you're still going to pay big top dollar for your meat when you go to the butcher.
Mate, by the look of the heads on your back wall, you should be farming deer, not cattle. And it's $70 a kilo in Vic prices. That's what you should be doing.
How did you mention that? The old man had a swing at bloody farming red deer there for a bit, but there was just no money in it.
How long ago was that?
Oh, yeah, that could have been like bloody 15, 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the venison market wasn't there, and the market for antler and the velvet just wasn't cutting it because like usually the people that are running the farming side of the deer is sort of more or less like they all sort of control the same mob. So like if you want to buy good quality stags to put in with your herd, like you're buying them off the same bloke. If you want to sell deer, you're selling them to the same bloke that sold them to you or whatnot. It's not like New Zealand where there's a thriving, booming industry in it. Like it didn't really take off here in Australia.
Not yet. May one day. Hopefully. One day. One day. You mentioned velvet. What does that mean? Like obviously deer and velvet.
What?
Well, usually like before like while they're still in soft velvet, you chop it off.
Mm-hmm.
And usually like they take the velvet and sell it off to make Chinese medicines or sometimes performance enhancement type stuff. Like that's what the market for the venison was.
Bloody hell, that's.
But yeah, mainly we'll chasing the venison market. It's where we're at. But like at the end of the day, like the only market we were getting was the Dubbo Zoo to feed the lions and the tigers there, and they wanted them for free. So like there was no money to be made.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you're going with what's the velvet, because I'm like, you know what a fucking deer in velvet is. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, what was he selling?
But yeah,
velvet,
what's the
mate?
use for velvets? Fair enough.
Yeah, I've heard of the Chinese medicinal sort of value for them, but I'm not sure how.
I've heard it gives you a big cock.
I think that's rhino horn.
A bit of both, apparently. Like depends who you talk to.
Josh is in the market.
If you look at Caleb's eBay history, he's got like tons and tons of this shit. Shit he bought from China.
Oh, man, you got to go black market. Don't worry about eBay. Anyway, what we'll do, Cody, is we'll launch into the questions because that's how our listeners can get to know you. I'm sure a lot of people have heard your stories. You've been on a few podcasts of recent times, so I guess we won't labour on the basic stuff. But for people who don't know, where are you from, mate?
I'm from Bathurst, New South Wales. So that's why. Well, I grew up in Oregon, but right now I live in Bathurst because that was a bit easier for my young family to sort of get along a bit better. It just makes it easier for them to be closer to town and for me to do all the driving out to the farms.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at the moment.
Makes sense, man. And you got a couple of kids, haven't you? Now you've got a young son and then an even younger daughter.
Yeah, got a 2-year-old son, Leo, and a month-old little girl, Sadie.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Keep your hands full.
Congrats. How's your sleep going at the moment?
Pretty fucked, actually. Well, actually, Sadie's a bit better than Leo was because Leo was a silent reflux bub.
Oh.
So the idea of sleep never existed for him. So like we would, buddy, eyes hanging out of heads, buddy, 24/7 with him. Where at least with little girl, yes, we have to get up in the middle of the night to feed her, but at least we still sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Man, that's a hard gig when they got reflux. Far out. And remind me, what's silent reflux?
it's like, but they bring it up and it gets caught in the throat and Buddy burns the shit out of the throat, but they're not making much noise. Like they don't make the gagging noise, or they're not going. Ugh.
Yeah.
It just sort of comes up and they just sort of suck it up and put up with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that wouldn't be fun because you'd just be on your toes all the time, wondering if he can breathe, I guess.
Couldn't you just give him a Mylanta? Nah, just one of them.
Oh,
chewies.
we tried all the different bloody medicines and shit, and
Did you try
tried
that?
everything, but eventually we just had to get him off the breast milk and get him on the solids and a different formula, and we never really conquered it till he was about 6 months old.
Oh, yeah.
You should have tried the Velvet. The Chinese medicine.
Should have, but it wasn't the season for it yet.
Very good. Well, Cody, speaking of food, well, I'm moving from breast milk to food now.
Please make that
What a
into a
great
transition.
I won't make that too weird, but what is your favourite food, mate?
At the moment, it's like shank, like anything shank, like whether it's like a fallow deer shank or a lamb shank, or last one I had was a chittle shank. That was pretty good. But like if you look at it an international way, like I had bloody minced up pulled style roe deer in Croatia.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it was with gnocchi, like that was really good. Like when we were in bear camp, so that was fun.
yeah.
I really enjoyed that, but really hard to go past the backstrap, isn't it?
Hang on, you mentioned bear camp, was that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, right. Obviously you were hunting bear in Croatia.
You would be correct.
No, it was a grinder event. It was just no actual bears in Croatia. Far out, man. How long ago was that? And did you end up with a bear or not?
No, it dropped down snow when we got there, so they went straight back in the hibernation. So I was there for a spring hunt, trying to get them coming down of hibernation, but they got a huge drop of snow off the day before my hunt. So they were like, "No, we're going back to bed." So I never laid eyes on a bear, but the guy who I was hunting with from Q8, he was hunting in a lower elevation than I was, so it was a bit warmer, and he managed to get a sow brown bear. So he was happy with it, but I never fucking saw one.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
This was in 2019.
Fucking hell, how does one even go about getting to Croatia for a hunt and not costing the earth?
Yeah, what was it? I think it was like $5,000 at the time, like 5,000 Australian.
That's not bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah, that's all right. It's achievable.
How do you organise it, man? Because for people like us, like we've actually not hunted overseas. So how does someone go about that?
Well, for me, I went through bookyourhunt.com,
Yep.
which is a dangerous website because it's basically it's like a big catalogue.
Yeah.
And you just like say you boys wanted to go to New Zealand and you wanted to hunt tar. Well, you type in either New Zealand or you type in tar to the search engine. Click in it, so righto, here's all your options and here's all the ratings. Like, and here's which different outfitters you can go with, and here's the different prices you can use.
Yep.
So like, oh right, look, you've got a combo hunt. You can do red stag, chamois, tar, and whatever else you wanted to add on to it, and we'll do that in 7 days. That will cost you this amount of dollars. Like if you're interested, well, you can contact the outfitter and ask more questions, or you just click book.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's obviously a lot cheaper to sort of combine your hunts with a lot of different species.
Yes and no, because it's aimed at the Yanks, like the website. So I was like, Yanks, like you're coming all the way there in New Zealand. Like, why come for just one thing? Like, we'll do a combo hunt and try to get a whole heap of different things. So in terms of when I did my bear hunt, I was like, well, it's the spring. Like, it's not really a hunting season for anything else at the time because the roe deer don't have antlers. Like the mouflon sheep sort of aren't really accessible at the time because they're in gnarly terrain. But yeah, it's like just the right time for spring bears to start coming out of hibernation. So like I went there. Actually, now this time of year, like right now, is when I was over there
Oh yeah.
in 2019.
Was it like dodgy getting over or anything? Like you mentioned, like you're obviously booking an outfitter, so were they pretty good or? I mean, it seems to be a European country, so it's like there's a little bit of dodginess going on over there. From Tom.
Yeah. The outfitter himself wasn't too bad. Like he was pretty good, but the like you're going with the outfitter, but when you're hunting the bears, like you're hunting with the local hunters.
Mm.
So like you temporarily join the club, like you temporarily join the bear hunting club, and then like rightio, you're going to go with Yusuf, who has a stand over here, and he's got a bait pole there. You're going to hunt off his stand. If you have no good, then you're going to hunt with Joe Bly over here, who's got a different stand in a different location. So you're a temporary member of their hunting club, and you're hunting with like the local boys in the area. And if they speak English, then you're in luck. But if not, then you're going between calling the outfitter to translate what the guide's saying and whatever the hell's going on, which is what happened to the Q8 fella. Like he got a guy who only spoke Croatian. So that when they saw the bear, they were like, "Can you shoot it? Can you not?" He was like on the front of the outfit. He's like, "If the guide says it's good to shoot, so you should shoot it." I said, "Oh, I don't know, but there's two of them there. Well, clearly shoot the bigger one."
Fair point.
Oh man, that's definitely not what you want in the moment. Is having to make a phone call before a shot.
Oh,
Like, that's just
That'll be
time.
intense.
Especially like that, like at 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, because you're hunting at night with night vision or thermal scopes, because bears over there are nocturnal.
Oh,
Okay. Didn't know
So like old mate's probably there having a kip and like, "Hey, sorry to ruin your snooze, but like, can I shoot this or not?"
Yeah, he'd never be ready when you need him. I dare say. So
The bear thing was like a side gig. His main focus is like duck hunting and like whales and like pheasants and all that. That's like where his money maker is, and he's always got the Arabic nations always come over there to do the fowl hunting. That's his big money maker.
Oh,
But the bears and like roe deer and like the boar drives, those are like just bloody side kicks for extra bucks.
okay.
back on the food side of things, Chiddle, how's it go in comparison with some of the other deers? Because deers. Fuck, I'm just going to police
beat me
myself
to
on my
it.
own English then. Deer.
I was about to police you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Please do. Feel free at any stage. He deserves every second of it, mate.
I've made a rod for my own back, haven't I? Anyway, I've tried everything except Rooster and Chiddle, and people who haven't had Chiddle imagine it that it's just sweeter than the rest of the deer. What do you reckon?
That's what I assume too, because everyone talks about it. Like everyone talks, oh yeah, like you go to Hawaii to shoot these really sweet deer, or everyone talks about how sweet they are.
Mm.
And I gave it a crack, and I was like, it's yummy venison. Like I can't know what else to tell you. Like it's very good. I enjoyed it, but like is it better than like a young fellow spiker? Like I couldn't tell you, because my taste buds are about fucked anyway. So I can't tell you that it was better than the first sambar stag I shot, because that he was just an old brute, wrangle everything.
Yep.
Like I equate eating that sambar stag to like, I don't know, like an altar boy going to confession. Like you handed this rough piece of meat, like you have to bloody grit through it and try to get through it, and pretend you enjoy it, but your eyes are all watery. It's not happy for anyone. Like no one's happy at the end. Not even the guy who's giving you the meat is even happy with you.
That is the best analogy.
Golden.
Did you work on that one? Didn't you?
I might have been working on that one for a bit.
Very good, man. Well, I think what we're quickly establishing is that it's probably not down to the species of deer. It's more to the individual deer itself. So I haven't honestly tasted much difference between the four species I've had, but it's like how old they are, what time of year it is, whether it's young deer, old deer, all that sort of thing. So
What they've been feeding on.
yeah, well, they've been feeding on us. It's all that. Like my favourite's still red.
Feed's a big part of it, because you'll get some boys here that reckon like a red stag that's been feeding on turnips is a really good feed compared to something that's been like on an oat crop or loose. And like a turnip fed red stag seems to be highly regarded to some of the old boys in the ADA I used to speak to.
Turnip. I wonder what the hell that tastes like.
Tastes like
Feeding
turnip.
on turnip.
I can't even remember what a turnip tastes like itself.
Yeah.
Well, the ones we were going were pretty bland. Like we had some boys go pig dogging on a place once, and they might have had a bit under the influence when they went out, and I don't know when they didn't catch any pigs at the end of the night, but when they came back, they had a ute load for all these turnips, that size of footballs, and they were just eating them raw out in the paddock.
It's a hard pass.
Just had nothing better to do, I suppose.
Yeah, pass exactly.
You kind of raise a good point. What the fuck does a turnip taste like?
I can't even remember.
Is
man.
it zucchini-ish? I don't know.
It's been years since I've
I
tried
can't
it.
remember the last turnip I had a day. It's a forgotten vegetable. Anyway,
I'm not even sure if I've ever tried one myself. So,
How do you go with pigs out there and like the feed on the pigs? Like tasting different as well.
I personally wouldn't be game to try a pig from around here,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
just because of you got all the diseases like brucellosis and all the diseases that get through them, and the fact that pigs out west, they tend to be in the more cropping country.
Mm-hmm.
So like when they're eating oats, they tend to be a little bit more cleaner, a bit more better. That's why those ones go in the chiller box a bit more often. Where out here, well, yes, they're eating fresh green lucerne and ryegrass and the roots of thistles, but they're also buddy diving head first up a fucking cow's ass and eating the guts out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
fair
I don't know if you boys ever come across that, or shot a pig that reeks of a dead cow, but it's not really something that makes your mouth water.
Mm. I think a couple that I've shot, the best one comes to mind. It was feeding at a almond orchard, and man, it was absolutely divine, fat as hell, and just tasted like almonds. It sort of changed my opinion on feed and what the meat tastes like, because it was just, or opened my eyes a little bit, I should say, towards it. What are you laughing at?
I was just going to say, do you want me to eat some more lollies?
You're getting a turnip tonight, man. In the arse.
I'll stay off the asparagus for you, Josh. Anyway, well, these hunting trips internationally cost a bit of money, and you obviously got to make a buck somehow. But Cody, take us back. What was your first job, mate?
Well, right from the moment I finished high school in year 10, I was like, I don't want to do 11 to 12. Like, I hate school. It's a fucking drag. I'm depressed. And Dad's like, rightio, well, come work on the farm for a bit until you sort of work out what you want to do and where you want to go. And I sort of been on the farm ever since. But then, like, I did as a part-time job, I did drive super spreaders for a bit for a neighbour down the road.
So it's always been sort of ag, been your world the whole time, basically.
Yeah, like even like on the weekends, like if I wasn't going out shooting or something on the weekends, I was on the bike, buddy mustering cattle or ploughing up a paddock or doing something. Like Dad always had me working, so
Yeah.
still I know.
Oh, that's fair, man. That's fair. I hear you, man. Like, I did finish year 12, then went to uni, but like I reckon around probably year 9, 10, you're sitting in school and you go, why am I learning half of this shit? Like, I think, especially as blokes, I reckon you get to an age, you're like, I want to be doing something practical. Like, this stuff I'm learning, how's that going to help me in a job? And I think that's something schools should do more of. And I know there's technical colleges and stuff if you want to do a trade and all that sort of stuff. But I think in schools these days, you just learn so much shit you don't need in life. You should actually be learning some life skills. And it's a shame people can't sort of tailor their learning experience to what they want to do for the rest of their life. You sort of have to wait till you get to uni for that. And it's crap because those last 3 years of high school, you're like, fuck, I don't want to be here. So I definitely get it, man.
Year 10's all we need anyway. I mean, we've got like a various plethora of what's the word? When we all left school and things like that, like a good range.
It must be a year 11 word.
None of us are at all millionaires or ahead in life. So how'd your 4 years of uni go for you, Caleb? Were you still sitting in the same seat?
No, but see, I liked uni way more than high school because I was doing industrial design and that's what I decided that I wanted to do with my life, and it was practical. And it was all pointing in the right direction towards getting a job at the end of it.
Yeah.
And it was
Plus, you're getting on the piss and chasing a route.
No, he wasn't.
I was an idiot and had myself locked down before I started uni, but
He looked like a turnip, mate. He wasn't getting a route from anybody.
I got on. Nah, fuck off. Certainly got on the piss. All the first year is just a one long pub crawl. That's what uni is, man.
Just out of curiosity, before we get too carried away,
Fire away.
who won on the weekend in terms of knocking over a deer?
Ooh, yeah, it'd be him.
Josh, unfortunately.
The only one that can hunt on this table.
Well, we decided to try out.
You're not at the table. If you were here, I'd bow down to you. Don't you worry.
So we decided to try out an 88 block that sort of wasn't well renowned for deer. Like, there's been some pretty bad reviews on it, really.
Yep.
But we thought instead of trusting other people's sort of opinions, we'll just get in there and give it a crack. So
Yep.
we're trusting them now, and we're probably going to avoid it when we can. But yeah, it was still a good weekend.
Yeah. See, I think this block would still be all right. It's just you're not going to want to hunt it in the dry because it's thick as fuck. So you're definitely not going to want to hunt it in the dry. And you kind of want a little bit of rain and maybe the deer to be vocal to find them.
Like I think what we established was the only time it would be good is in like the middle of the rut when things are just going crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're pretty much hunting a fringe and it's all thick inside that fringe. Yeah, and there's not many areas that open up. And even if you go for a bit of a bush bash, it's still, visibility is not great out to any sort of distance. So,
Yeah, I've hunted a few places that are like that. Like you just majority of the time of year, like you're not going to find shit. But like during that peak rut time, like you're finding buddy monster stags left, right, and center. You can't get away from them. But like you got to be out there just right at that right time, and the rest of the time you're not going to find anything there.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw plenty of sign, and but at the end of the day, I think you've hit the nail on the head there.
Struggling.
I'm struggling. Peak rut is the only time I think. So Josh won technically. So we
Technically. Fucking just hands down one.
Yeah, you won with a fucking
Doesn't matter, mate.
tiny ass spiker. All right,
Doesn't matter. It's meat in the fridge.
The only one because we didn't really enter the competition.
I was thinking about this before I was pulling the trigger because I was like, if I don't do this and I tell the boys this story, that's it. I'm not going to live it down.
Yeah, if you let another one
say,
go.
no, didn't want to and I'll let it go. I just never
But it was
hit
a spiker. So if you let a spiker go, it's like, you let that one grow up. But if it was like a doe or like a young fawn, it's like, that's meat in the freezer.
There was like 5 days with. I was trying to get the beat on a doe, but it just wasn't quartering. So
Oh, no, you could have been a world record, mate. You shouldn't have done that.
That's when conservation should have been the issue there.
Yeah, your preservation of the species
Yeah.
has gone out the window.
I'll do conservation with a full tummy.
But I suppose
right?
that fawn you let go in Vic, he could have been big. So
Oh God! You got to come home with us, man. These two boys are just relentless. You do one thing wrong, that's it. Fucking relentless.
we have our moment when we can.
Look, at the end of the day, we still came away with a bit of meat because some of the other guys and girls were actually hunting on another property nearby, a private one. So we went and gave them a hand to butcher up a few. So
Yeah, worked out all right.
yeah, it worked out all right in the end. Still a good weekend.
Oh.
Who's got the meat? I've got meat.
Who's got my fucking Recipro? and my meat bags.
Yeah, I got all of it, so you got nothing.
How's your rut looking like?
Or with the little girl on the scene, it's looking to be fairly quiet. But, if I can, I'll take the young fella out for a look around if I can. I'll let him ride in the backpack and see if we can find anything. But apart from that, I've not got really much going on. I've got a few blokes booked in to take out or have a look on the places. But, nothing much going on really. Don't plan to.
Is there much movement at the moment your way? I did hear a rumour that they were starting to get a bit vocal in New South Wales.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was in the yards yesterday. Like one of the cattle yards that we work at sits on top of a hill that sort of looks across the river and a valley and some big hills. Whilst I was marking calves there, I looked across on an opposite face and saw a stag moving from bush to bush.
Yep.
So I was like, so obviously he's on the move. And I got a message today from a mate who talked to another fellow who had access to a block I have access to. And he got the drop on a giant red stag.
Yeah, nice.
It's not Brett, is it?
What was that?
It's not Brett, is it?
No, not Brett. Brett's not near me, but
Oh, I thought
actually,
he was.
if he did, I wouldn't surprise me.
No, well, that's all right. As long as there's a couple kicking around. Fucking hell. 17,000 acres is good enough.
Few getting around now, but like I'm usually like what I find peak grade for the red stags up here is usually in the next 2 weeks. Usually, like you just get full swing of their roaring from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning, and still like find them out in the middle of the open paddocks and stuff.
Oh, just let the missus know that you got to work on the farm, and then just bring the rifle with you.
Why are you packing the gun when you're supposed to be at work? Yeah, answer that one.
I don't have to buddy say anything like that. Like the rifle or the bow sits on the backseat of the U 24/7.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go when I need to go.
yeah, hunt on the job.
Oh,
That'd be a luxury and nice to have.
do you run your place with trail cameras or anything like that?
I had a bit of a bad run with trail cameras. Like I think I bought some dud memory cards from Big W because it just kept getting error popping up on them. So I just went, fuck the cameras. If I see something, I see something.
Yeah.
So I just run the place off bloody past knowledge and past years' experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
you
where I
can't
find
be-
them and what they're doing.
Can't be that, man. And it's obviously working for you. So there you go.
Yeah, definitely. Do you find that they, like you just said, past knowledge, like they'll just stay in an area? So even if you hunt, say, that area, next year they'll still be in that one area. They don't sort of spread out. They're just like isolated pockets and they're consistently there.
I find because of the areas I've got and I can see it, I was like, right, there's always going to be a stag hitting this patch of scrub here, and he's going to be doing the rounds there. Right, this mountain here, there's going to be like a stag there moving around, and not just here. There's got to be a stag there moving around, and whichever one's got the big hinds, or there's going to be a satellite stag trailing that guy around. Like they're usually always in the same spots. Wherever you go and you shoot the big stag in that spot, another stag will take over that spot either that year or the following year.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be pretty handy to know.
Yeah, nice. I mean, you can't beat that hands-on knowledge. Yeah, and then you can just keep going back to the well. So it's perfect, man.
That's Caleb likes lazy hunting.
It's not lazy. You've
Yeah,
got to do the work at some point to actually gain all that knowledge, and then you can just keep accessing it, that's the payoff.
Oh, well, it took me years to get my first bloody stag, and then I can shoot a stag every year if I wanted to, but like there's not really much fun in that if you're shooting bloody 3-year-old heads. Like you got to try to add a bit of a challenge to find the old smart boys.
That's it.
Yeah. How much of venison is your diet for your meat?
Surprisingly, it's not that much because my partner she can't handle red meat.
Okay.
So basically, like if any venison we get, like it all falls on me to have. But like I'll usually hand it off because like there's other guys that are they're not hunters, but they love their venison. So like I try to share it around with them when I can. But when we do eat it, like just go hand a bit of meat to the missus and goes like, I don't know how to cook it, but you work it out, and she'll Google something and cook something up for me, and I'll have a feed for a couple nights from that, and she'll eat her chicken or eat a bit of pork for herself. And right now, my main venison diet's bloody venison pies.
Yeah.
That's what we did with the chittle that I shot. Like, I've still got a heap of chittle in the freezer actually, but yeah, like that's most of that's been turned into pies at the moment.
Yeah, nice.
Be nice.
Rub it in.
That's someone we haven't tried yet, actually. He's making our own
Yeah.
pies.
Pies and sausage rolls will be the way to go, I reckon.
Sausage rolls would be raw.
Yeah.
Definitely. But you going chunky steak, like chunky bits
Yep.
of meat in the pie.
Yeah, chunky steak. I love a chunky steak pie.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Sounds all right. Well, let's keep rolling through these questions, Cody. The next one is, who inspires you the most?
My old man's a big inspiration in my life, just because like he's I see him, I hang out with him every day, and like if he can tell if I'm having an off day, he usually sits me down and asks me about it and tells me a few life lessons that he's had to deal with to sort of that might be similar to the situation I'm dealing with. So that always helpful. But like in terms of hunting, Jim Shockey's a huge inspiration to me.
Oh, how good is
Like,
his shit?
You know, love his shows that he's done, and just like love the whole message of family and hunting. Like I never got the family part when I was single, but now I've got a family of my own. Like that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah. Have you seen his episode where he's in Africa, and I don't know if he was specifically out for croc or not, but they ended up going out croc hunting and for a couple of man-eaters in this local village that lived along the river. And they ended up shooting the largest croc they could find over a few days, and they're gutting it out, and they actually pulled out the shirt of the girl that it took like a few days prior to them getting there. Have you seen that episode?
I've watched that episode a couple of times, actually.
Yeah, it's insane. The way he captured, like, the essence of, like, just being there in that sort of situation, like, phenomenal. He made it interesting and sad, but yet, like, just exciting. Like, crazy. You should watch it. It's fucking insane.
Sounds like I should.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's like, I think what makes that show really good is, I guess, Jim Shockey's hosting all of it and all that, but majority of the work behind it is always son Brenglin. Like, he's the producer, the videographer, the editor. Like, he's the one who's like capturing all that and setting it all in motion and turning it into the hour show that it is. And like putting all that work and like they had Ivan Carter hunting with him on that episode.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, like Ivan Carter like did a spin-off series called Ivan Carter's War. If you got 7+, it should be on there because 7+ has like a deal with the Outdoor Channel. Yep. So you can go and watch this thing. It's like a wildlife show, but like because Carter's at XPH, he's still got the hunter's perspective, even though it's like there's no hunting in it, but it's like showing like this is what hunting conservation dollars does towards helping this species, and like it does revisit the crocodile thing, but it comes back to like, oh, like, it's too many people, too many crocs. Like, where do you draw the line of like who needs to back off? Like, it can't be answered that simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does. Yeah, I'd agree with you, man. Like, yeah, the work behind it and the way they get it going is pretty good.
Next question, Cody. What's the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
When I did Zach's show, I told him about like for that Croatia trip, how I got kidnapped in Dubai.
Kidnapped?
What?
Yep. I was going to say, go listen to Zach's episode and you'll hear all about it. And I was just going to tell how we rolled a big in one night. But if you just want to hear about the kidnapping, I can tell you about that.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Go for it, man.
I'd love that.
So, like, part of going to Croatia, I had to do a stopover in Dubai. And, like, I think we were landing there at, like, 11 o'clock at night. But before I got on the plane, I was chilling out in Sydney Airport, playing on your phone, as you do, because what else do you do when you're bored? Anyway, a video pops up. I was going, this bloody beat of Call of Duty looks a bit realistic. Oh, no, that's not Call of Duty at all. That's some gunman in Christchurch shooting up Muslims. That's not too good. So I was like, that, but like shortly after that, everything got taken down real quick. But, I had to go over to wait to catch the plane. Walk past some people who were waiting to board the plane to fly to Christchurch, and there was a few Muslim families there, and understandably they were in hysterics, having a breakdown. Like, heck, you can't blame them. Like, something horrible has just happened to them and their culture. I get on the plane, go to Dubai. In the meantime, it's discovered that the gunman was an Australian that moved over there, and fucking bad publicity for gun owners. And then, so I get to Dubai, and part of my plan for Dubai was like, I kind of want to see the place, like see what it's like. So instead of staying in the hotel at the airport like a smart person would do, I'm just going to stay at a hotel like out in the city so I can actually experience and see what it's like. But I had to scream a kid next to me the whole flight, so I didn't get a week of sleep the whole 14-hour flight. So I was like, I was hanging out in my head, and I was just, right, I've just got to get to a taxi and tell them to take me to my hotel. You get over there, and a guy approaches me and goes, "Oh, you're looking for taxi?" Going, yeah, mate, I'm looking for a taxi. Well, come this way, I'll show you where the taxis are. Sweet. Just make things easy. Go along, going up. There's all the taxis. I said, all right, thanks, mate, very much. No. This is my car here. You get in here. He points to a black Camry with no signage on it. I was like, I don't think so, mate. But in the meantime, he's grabbed my backpack. He's tossed it into the car. I was like, shit, that's got me money and shit in it. Dived in after it. He shut the door, jumped in the drive, taken off. I was like, and in the meantime, I was like, I'll just play dumb, act like nothing bad's happened. So I pulled out my itinerary. So, right, here's the address of the hotel I need to go to. Okay. Drive around for about 30 minutes. Doesn't say a word to me. I was like, shit. Yeah, you know where we're going? Yeah, I know where we're going. But in the meantime, he's got a phone call and he's speaking in Arabic and like giving me real suspicious looks in the mirror. I'm like, keep going. And another 20 minutes go by. It's going, hey, I don't have any money to pay you with. Like, I've only bought Croatian money with me because I was planning to spend my dollars there. He goes, oh, that's okay. We'll go to a service station and you can go to an ATM and get money out there. I was like, oh, yeah, rightio. So he pulls up to a BP, which I'm surprised they had. But they haven't there. Pulls up to a BP and goes, rightio, there's an ATM in there. So, rightio. So I walk in and he follows me in and he stands behind me.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. So I get my card out, put it in. And all this, the options for the money pop up. And I'm looking at it and just going, I've got no idea how much any of this is. It's like, I turned to him, I don't know how much I want. So he just picked one. I picked one in the middle. Like, yep, no. Starts throwing money out. I picked up. I hand it straight to him. Goes, yep, rightio. Then his demeanor goes from like quiet and serious to happy. So, would you like a cup of coffee? No, I really just want to get to my hotel room, mate. So, all right, come on, we'll go to your hotel. Driving around for another half hour. He pulls on the outskirts of town in the desert and goes, you see that light way over there? That green light? And going, yeah, that's your hotel. You get out here. Going, hey? So he grabs me, car, throws it out. Like I goes, and I got to jump out. I'm going, huh? What's going on? He goes, if you're ever in Dubai again, well, we should meet again sometime. And drives off.
Fuck, bloody hell.
I'm just going, rightio. Grab me shit, make sure your itinerary and my passport and stuff's still in the bag. Walk across the desert sands to the hotel, and it was the right hotel. Checked in, and I got in, settled in. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning at this point. I was like, rightio, how much did he take out? So I got onto the internet banking and took out, he scammed me $2,500.
Oh, bloody hell.
Ouch. No wonder he's.
So I was like, I sent that to Cads, Kajia, who you had on here before.
Yeah.
I was like, get a load of this. She goes, oh my God. And it's like, if I met that person, I would say some very unkind things to him in Arabic.
It sounds like you got pretty lucky that he pulled out that much money, to be honest. Like, that could have been a lot worse.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, it could have gone either way. Like, in my head at the time, it's going, oh, no, he's worked out I'm Australian. He's going to take me off and behead me because he wants to get revenge for his fallen brethren. What was going through my head at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's,
shit,
I guess, only natural. But what do you think his agenda was? Like, because
to rob him?
Well, no, because
doesn't seem like it.
That sort of eventuated because you said you didn't have any money on you of whatever they happened to buy. But yeah, what do you think his agenda was initially, apart from the beheading part? But what do you think his scam setup was?
I think his scam setup was always to like scare the shit out of you that you're willing to pay him whatever he wants just to get out of the situation safe. Like, I think that's the game that he always plays with most people, like especially if they're a foreign white person who's never been to a Arabic country.
Yeah, it's quite confronting when you're in a whole other country, you don't understand the language, and there's a lot of like sort of movement and carry on, and you get swept up in the moment. It's like, I mean, I can only speak from Europe with the gypsies and what goes on there where they scam you and they come up to you and they try and sell you stuff, but meanwhile they're pickpocketing you, and it's all just it happens in a flash. So the whole moment where he's sort of like, oh no, you get in this car, and he's grabbed your backpack and he's chucked it in already. I get that. They sort of rely on you just going, fuck, I've got to go after my bag, and they just get you by surprise, and it's next minute driving around for half an hour, not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah, like when you're back at home in Australia and like you're sort of on your home turf and you're feeling a little bit more confident and like you've got someone trying to scare you, usually got a bit of a backbone and say, fuck off, mate. Like, I'm not pulling up for your shit. But like when you're you're only there relying on yourself, you tend to buddy cave in a little bit quicker.
Yeah, you're kind of out of your depth, I guess. So obviously you're just stuck with the $2,500. There's no way you're getting that back.
I just copped that as a loss because, that's part of the risks of bloody international hunting. Like you're going to lose a few bucks here and there, like if it's through like customs with trophies or dealing with firearms and shit. Like you're going to lose money somewhere in something that you weren't prepared for, even if it's like dealing with trophies. Of like, well, if you really want your trophy back, you're gonna pay for it. I was like, well, if I've got it done over here, it's going to be this much. But like, I didn't want to deal with all the bullshit and all that, so I had to buddy go with you here. But you do what you do.
Yeah, fair enough. So you missed out on the bear. Did you actually get anything else while you're in Croatia?
No, because I could have shot a badger, but their whole attitude towards us was like, why do you want to shoot a badger? You're here for bear. And I was like, yeah, but we don't have badgers in Australia. Like, it would be really cool to say that I shot one. I said, no, worry about the bear first. And we did get stalked by a pack of wolves.
Ooh. Let's tie that in because that's dangerous too.
Yeah, well, it was the first night on the bear stand. The best hunting vehicle in the world, according to Croatia, is a Toyota Yaris. Going through the back hunting trails to get to the location, and we hike up there. We climb into this wooden cubby house they use as their stands. Sat there all night. It was just about to get late, and then like, oh look, there's a pair of wolves hitting the bait pile. It's like, oh sweet, I've never seen a wolf before. If I was to describe their size, I'd describe the small one as the biggest German Shepherd you've ever seen. Jeez. And then the one beside it, I'd say, was triple its size.
Holy shit.
It was a huge animal. I was like, oh, cool. But, I had my camera, but, it was pitch black. It was pointless, especially from what they were probably 60, 70 yards off. So, the flash wouldn't have caught shit if I did do it that way. But anyway, they stole the bear bait and took off. I was like, right, let's go. So, right, I get the headlamps on, climb out of the stand, look underneath. Here's all the wolf tracks underneath the stand. And I looked at that, and I looked at the guide, and he's just gone pale. I'm going, do they normally do that? He goes, no. You're going, oh, rightio. So we started walking back, and as we're walking back to the car, we're seeing what the wolves have done. So what happened was they've cut across the car tracks when they're crossing the road. Oh, let's follow that. So they found the car, sniffed around the car for a bit, found our tracks, tracked us down to the blind, and then they've sat underneath the blind waiting for us to come out, got sick of waiting, and then gone and stole the bear bait. In the meantime, I was like, can you shoot wolves here? It's like, we can, but foreigners can't. It's only managed by the agriculture department on how many wolves can be taken per year. So, and it's only the local hunters that can do it. You as an international hunter cannot. So I missed out. If I was allowed to, I would have been go on, let's have a crack.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's
pretty crazy.
I think a wolf's on all of our list. So
yeah.
It's sort of up there with the unknown. Especially you see how big they are when they're holding up by the back leg.
I think the whole thing with as Australian hunters, there's not really much that can come after you. There's no predators apart from Northern Territory. There's crocs, but it's a very different world over there. We got bears and wolves and mountain lions and stuff where they can just come after you, and there's a whole other element to the hunt. So, have you been in any sticky situations where you've had something come after you?
Not really. I think that was the closest I've come, but I have had the odd pig that he have a bit of a crack, but that's usually because they're trying to run away from a dog or something like that. But as far as we're going oh fuck, you nearly got me. Was nothing really had anything like it.
It's probably good, man. Keep it that way.
Although I've had the odd bloody wild steer put me over the fence.
How do you go for injuries out on the farm? Have you ever been just absolutely flattened?
Not from cattle, because I'm usually I have been caught a few times getting kicked by a young calf or something like that. But like, as far as getting knocked over by a big beast, like I'm usually you can usually tell which ones are going to be the nasty ones, and you're usually very aware of them and stay on your toes and trying to shut gates quick or jump up real quick and to avoid them when they're snorting and carrying on.
Fair enough.
I've just had more injuries like machinery wise or stuff like that.
What's the worst injuries you've had?
Worst injury I had, we had a thing called a roller mill, and basically it's like you got two barrels and they've got like teeth cut into them and they rotate together, and they're driven and they're powered by a PDO shaft.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bottom of it, it's got an auger attached to it, and you're usually putting in grain, and it's usually catching up the grain. So what it's doing, when it busts the grain open, it's helping the starch content be more accessible to the livestock to gain. So in this case, we're using corn because corn's got a really hardy shell when it's a seed. Yep. So we'll basically turn it in the corn flour to give to the cattle so they can eat that, because at the time the cattle market was aiming towards bloody grain-fed cattle rather than grass-fed, because the grass-fed thing hadn't taken off yet. So we were doing that, but it was a drizzly day. So water was getting into it, and it was like it was turning it into sort of like a pudding.
Yeah.
And it jammed up. And as it jammed up, the barrels stopped going, but the PDO shaft on the tractor was still going. So I was standing between the roller mill and a backhoe bucket that we had full of corn, and we were shoveling the corn from that. And as it's jammed up, it's thrown the roller mill, and it's pinned me between the roller mill and the backhoe bucket. So like it's probably only like a 45, 50 kilo machine on its own. Like you could pick it up and hook it on and all that. But like with the power of the PDO shaft, I'd probably triple times the weight, because it's just trying to drive it down on top of you.
Yeah.
So I ended up with a couple of cracked ribs. That was all I came out of it with. That was like the worst thing I've done. Like, I've never broken a bone or anything. I was like the closest thing I came to breaking something. But yeah, I ended up in Orange Hospital for the night and off my feet for a bit, waiting for me ribs to heal up.
I'd take that over being attacked by a wolf, to be honest, man.
Oh, well, each to their own.
All right. Well, Cody, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given, mate?
Rightio. I thought hard about that one. Part of the reason I went to Croatia in the first place, because I just recently got out of a bad relationship, and I needed an adventure to sort of take my mind off it. But before I did all that, I was, in a bit of a dark place, and a bit of advice came from my old man, who's, he's good bloke to talk to when times are tough. And he said this to a few people, and it's aimed at people. So like you're getting chased by the black dog, nipping at your heels, or you're going for a rough time. It's for anyone who is going for a rough time and they need that little pick me up. And he used his words were, "As sure as the sun will rise in the morning, you will learn how to smile again." So like things may seem dark now, but like you will get over this, whatever you're going through, and you will learn how to smile and be happy again.
No, it's
Pretty good advice.
It's a good one.
It is. It is.
How often when you're having a really shit day, or you had a massive blue or an argument with someone, and you just sleep on it, and the next morning everything just feels different? It's just nothing's really changed, but it's a new day, the sunshine again, and your perspective can change from day to day. So I get that. Like as surely as the sun shines, you'll learn to smile again. Like you just got to take each day by day sometimes and just plug away, and things do get better. Like I don't think there's anything that will never change. It's set in stone. Any situation, there's always room to move and things to get better. So it's good advice, man.
It's helped me through some dark times, and I know it's helped other family through dark times. And if you got a mate or you got a loved one that is going through a hard time, just maybe those little words can just help change their mindset a little bit to help them get through whatever they're getting through.
I think, something we were talking about last week for sure was about having outlets to be able to process things and deal with stress and however you're feeling. If it's you're a bit down about stuff, and certainly for us, going hunting and fishing is a great way to deal with your own mental demons. Do you find that's for you as well?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's getting out into the wilderness and just being up on top of the hill or walking through the scrub and listening to things be how they are, even if you weren't there. Like, that's just how things were going to be. Like, it just, I don't know, a little bit of peace comes over the top of you. I don't know how you explain something like that, but like, just, I don't know, just feel wholesome.
Yeah, definitely. Everything else sort of just melts away and you just feel part of nature, I guess. And it's just the stresses of everyday life just sort of they just melt away. You just feel like it's a natural, nice place to be in the outdoors and you're just there, a part of it. It's just, I don't know. It feels more right. It feels like you're where you should be in a way. Maybe that's why it's a good thing. we all just got super serious.
Yeah.
Well, did we have it right a few hundred years ago before all this technology? I mean, granted, we wouldn't be having a podcast because
Technology.
yeah, tech, but,
Or memes.
but a couple hundred years ago, things were a little simpler, less busy. Is that right? Is that the pinnacle of where we should have, or we should be as a society in the grand schemes of things? Because I think it's like getting worse with all the busyness and everything in the world. It almost seems like mental health is getting worse. And we don't have those outlets accessible to us like nature as readily as we did a few hundred years ago, or as acceptable.
Well, it sort of reminds me of, I think it was on Rogan. Most things come from Rogan. But
The Oracle.
Broken is life.
the fact of mental health, and you sort of see in a lot of the sort of poor countries and the struggling communities where they really don't have a lot. They just survive, and they sort of survive within the communities themselves, and they all sort of get by together. But they always, well, not always, but they majority seem actually quite happy, considering the Western society seems to have a lot of these mental health issues and all that. And their sort of diagnosis for it was that we do have a too comfortable a life. So there's no actual external sort of issues to sort of focus ourselves on. So we sort of look internal for that. And that's when they say that we find a lot of mental health issues arise is through that. And we sort of pick ourselves apart because we need to find something to sort of defend against. So, yeah. That's sort of
it makes a lot of sense. Like if you look at someone in an African country, said, right, yeah, what I got to do today? Whoop, got to go get some water. Right, run down and get away. Right, what's next? Take cows out for a walk, give them a bit of a feed. Right, cows are feeding. Right, keep an eye out for lions. Right, get the cows back in, cook dinner, go to sleep, repeat. Like their mindset's always focused on the task at hand and like survival or just trying to get through the day in one piece. Where here we've got your mind's got time to linger.
Yeah.
And just sort of sit back and like, oh, why did I do that in year 10? Why did I shit myself for that day when I drank too much?
That's true. Well, that sort of
Back drunk.
African village lifestyle, I guess, is closer to hunting than modern society, I guess. Like that's when you're out hunting, what do you got to do? Like you get up, you go out, you try and find something, you go get that thing, you come back, you butcher it, gin around for the day, a campsite, you have a bit of a chat, you make a fire.
I could take a dig here and be like, oh, you come back.
Some people come back with
yeah, those desperations will probably rise. When
but that's your biggest problems are just your basic needs like food, shelter, water, really, and fire, generally. So it's a much more simplistic life. And I think that's probably why it resonates with people in terms of feeling right versus, it's cool to have all this technology. Everyone loves watching TV and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I can talk to 100 people on the other side of the world, but you don't really have that deeper connection. It's just convenience. And you do sacrifice a few things because of that convenience.
How do we change people's opinion, like just generally in our population, to support that argument though, or support that statement?
I don't think people would want to go back to living a much more basic life unless there's a catastrophic event like the apocalypse that happens and we'll have to do that. I don't think people would give up that.
Nah.
It is handy
No,
having a supermarket.
people like having easy. People like living easy. They don't like doing things hard. Like, you know, my generation's got a bad habit of just liking to be given handouts or be given a job without actually working for it, having a good work ethic. For example, like they just should have it because I think I should have it is the more attitude. So for them to go back to take a few steps back to have that way of thinking that you suggest, I don't think you'd be able to make them go for it.
Yeah, definitely not. It's interesting. We live in a great country and we do have it pretty easy. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens if the world does go to shit.
If China. No offense, China.
Yeah.
Or some offense.
They're already listening.
Well,
Yeah, there's a lot of people in China that love to listen to Senate, mate.
it wouldn't take us much to knock us off our pedestal, really. That society itself. So I feel like we're quite fragile in sort of outlasting a catastrophic event. Because, yeah, if there's a source that's sort of removed, like, for example, I think we talked about this last podcast, but how well do we individually know how to design or build just certain things that are everyday life? We rely on focused knowledge that will sort of benefit all. So when them ties are cut, just say internet is cut, it's going to be pretty... I know where I'm going. I just don't know how to get to it.
You're trying to say, like, if an asteroid hit tomorrow,
it doesn't
and
mean asteroid
everyone who knew how to build a computer died, and none of us did, then computers are gone.
Wouldn't exist, so it'll just throw us back.
Technology, it's just stuffed.
Pops make the Codys.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Oh, that's the main thing. Well, we can come check out some of your possessions, such as all those heads up on the wall there. But Cody, the question is, what is your most treasured possession?
It's hard. I can't think of a single thing it's important to me. It's like my kids are fairly important. Like that's like they're my life. Like them and my partner. Like they make me what I am, and they allow me to do the things I want to do. And as a possession, like I don't really know. Like I suppose me rifle would be pretty good, but I don't know. If I was like if the house was on fire and I had to try to like grab something I thought was very important, well, obviously you're going for the kids, like and everything else, you just have to let go.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, look, we've had plenty of people that aren't sort of materialistic and they don't have a toy or anything in particular that they actually like. I guess there's some people that have said, something with sentimental value or something passed down from a family member or something like that. But yeah, man, like that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to have any one thing that you go, that's my most treasured possession.
See, I like how he put his partner in there. Now, everyone says kids before we ask the question, okay, it's got to be materialistic. Everyone says children. That has children. But no one pops their partner in there. I'm like, okay, you can live without your partner. So well done.
Yeah.
No, well, my partner's buddy put up with me, Leo wasn't oopsie baby, like he wasn't planned, or the relationship wasn't planned. That's just the fact, and like everyone knows that. But since we've started from there and grown, like she's become a big part of my life, and she's always supported me and to go out hunting or do whatever, but always been so supportive of everything I do.
Yep.
So I don't think I'll be able to get far enough without her, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's something very important to have in a partner, is someone who supports what you do. They don't necessarily have to love it as well, but the fact that they can see what it does for you and they support you going out and doing that thing, I think is what is important, I guess, because there's nothing worse than someone resenting you for wanting to pursue your passions or saying, no, you can't come out, you can't do that, you got to be here doing this with me. Obviously there's a balance and you can't just do whatever the fuck you want whenever you want, but to have someone support you and say, I love the fact that you go hunting and I can see what it does for you and I can see that that's your outlet and what you love and are passionate about, I think that's the best thing to have in a partner. So, like, I've never been hunting with mine, but she she supports me to do it.
Yeah, Nikki's come out with me like a few times. Like, we've gone out, buddy, spotted a few pigs and had a shot here and there at them. But like the biggest demonstration of how great and supportive she was is it was in 2020. Like Leo was at the time was only probably like 3 months old, and New Zealand was starting to consider opening borders to Australia. And my mate Brendan Cook hit me up just going, hey, like New Zealand's going to look open and back up. Like, do you want to go over? And I was like, I just started this new gig as a dad. Like, I'm not too sure if I can do it. And I was like, talking to Nikki about it. She was like, well, like, is he talking about doing a guided trip or doing a DIY hunt? Like, oh, he's thinking about doing a DIY hunt because like that's what he sort of got thrown in to do last time. So like he's got a bit of experience in New Zealand. I've got a fair bit of experience in New Zealand. So like we'll probably do a DIY trip. Goes, well, DIY trips are far more cheaper than the guided trips, and if it's not going to cost us a lot of money, I reckon you should go.
Bloody hell, nice.
I was like, you reckon? He goes, yeah, no, I reckon you should go. Like, go do it. Like, if it's not going to bloody break us financially, I reckon you should go. Rightio. So went over there and I shot a 10-inch chamois.
That's awesome.
Sweet as, man.
Here's a question for you, because we're all thinking about trying to get to New Zealand in the next 12 months. What do you recommend where do you recommend to go in the South Island? To what do you recommend to take with you?
Ooh, that's a tough one because there's a lot of areas in the South Island to go for. It all depends on what the game you want to go after is. Like, are you interested? Are you trying to find big red stags, or are you trying to find tar or chamois or whitetail, or what do you?
Whitetail would be lovely, but let's just start at a tar or a chamois.
Yeah, you want to pop the sheep fucking cherry, don't you?
Right. When it comes to tar and chamois, Mount Cook is usually around there. There's tar numbers and stuff about there.
Mm.
Rather than like just trying to give you guys a place to try to find, I'd recommend you try to get your hands on that.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, well, eh?
That was something I think you shared to me a while ago.
Something he prepared earlier.
Yeah. So it's called Spidex Hunting New Zealand. Like that. This is an old 5th edition's out somewhere, but basically what this is it'll
I'm going to write that down.
find somewhere that's got tar on it.
Just listen back to the podcast, Josh.
No, I don't want to have to listen to your voice, mate.
We'll clip this and we'll send it to you, Josh.
Right, yeah. So you've got you've got the Rangatira. That's just an area.
Yep.
So each spot marks a location of like a camping spot or a spot worth looking.
Yep.
And on the side, it'll show you different places to have a look. So we say we'll look at Red Stag Hut. You can find chamois and tar at Red Stag Hut, and it'll tell you how to access it. Whether you can hike in there, whether you need a chopper, or you can 4-wheel drive into there. And then from there, it'll tell you like, right, if you're looking north, you go up the hill 500 meters and you go to a ridge that crosses over to the left. If you sit on there and you look at this ridge during the evenings or in the mornings, you should see some tar or chamois come out the feed. And that book is full of that for all the Kiwi game species. And there's a little bit of trout fishing in there as well.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Sounds quite detailed.
Done. That will be paid for by the end of the night. That copy will be on its way.
And another thing you do is once you sort of got the areas worked out is talk to a lot of guys on Instagram, especially Kiwis or guys who do a lot of DIY hunting over there.
Yep.
I'm just going, hey, I'm looking at this area. Do you have any experience there? And if they do, they're usually more than kind enough to right out. If you do go there, I recommend you go here or here and usually find a bit of game there. If you're not having any luck there, usually go here because if you just walk up to them and said, hey, I want to go hunting tar, and they'll be like, okay, where do you want to go hunting tar? I was like, I don't know. I've never hunted tar before. It's like, well, we kind of need you to be specific so we can be specific for you to give the ideas out.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I started organising the chamois hunt, I hit up a few Kiwi blokes and I also hit up Remy Warren.
Okay.
I messaged him on Instagram. It's like, hey, like I know you haven't been over New Zealand because of COVID, but like I want to try to get onto some chamois myself. Like, you don't have to give me your secret spots. I just want a general idea. He goes, rightio. Well, if you want to get onto good chamois numbers, I recommend you look at the West Coast and look around. Like, I can't remember exactly where he said, but he said, like, you look around this town or this region here, like, you should be able to. They should be able to give you a good start there. So, rightio. Well, he's put me on to the west side of the island, and I'm going to start looking there. Then I've hit up a few other guys. And usually what most guys will tell you to do is like, hey, call the chopper company or email the chopper company and ask them whether, because they're the guys that flying tourists around or flying other hunters around. So they see shit or they've got all the info from the people being boots on the ground. So I go, all right, so I did that as well. I hit up the past chopper company or whoever they were. It's like, hey, like we're looking at going up this area here. Is it possible to do? He says, right out. Well, you can go over to this spot, or this spot on the dates that you want to go hunting. And we'll see how we go. And it's like, right, so you go look at those spots on the map. Is that the terrain that you want to put up with or not? I said, right, well, that one looks like it could be pretty cool and it's pretty open. So we should be able to get some good glassing done. We'll go there. Right out. So do all that. You organise it. You work out the meetup time with the chopper. We flew in the Christchurch, and drove all the way over to the West Coast and to where we needed to meet the chopper. Jumped in with him, flew up, and he was like, right, well, no one's been up here since February. No, and we were only there late May because that was the chamois, right? So, right, no one's been up there since May, so like your chances of finding animals are pretty good because there's been no hunting pressure up here. You know, if you've seen the video I put up on YouTube, you would have seen, like, as soon as we landed, we spotted two chamois right off the bat as soon as the chopper took off.
Yeah.
And we went, shot one with the bow and shot one with the rifle.
I think you've given people some very good advice there in that you should do some research yourself, even if you haven't worked it out completely. But then at least when you're asking someone else for advice, you're sort of even just a little bit talking their language, and they're going to be more receptive to giving you some advice if they can see that you've done some research rather than just going, like you said, hey, I want to go on a chamois hunt. And then they've got to ask you all the questions about what do you actually specifically want. Whereas if you approach it with, hey, I've been researching this area here, I've been looking here and here, what do you reckon about this? They might go, oh, you're not going to get anything there, go here. Like, they're going to be way more receptive to helping you out. So that's a tip for everyone. Do some research yourself before you ask people. Don't be lazy.
Yeah, research the area, find an area that you like, and then they'll get back to you. And it's like, oh, yeah, no, like if you want to go there, that's all well and good. But like, hey, because we were originally going to look at hiking in, and we got told that was a terrible idea right off the bat because like to get up to the Alpine was a shit fight for a real thick scrub and swamp. I was like, nah, fuck that. You may as well spend the extra couple $100 on the chopper and save your legs for the hunting rather than getting to the location. So there's bits and bobs there to work out whether you want to hike in or not, and like how much work you want to do for it, because NZ's a pretty of a hardy place on the legs.
True.
How much was the chopper? Do you remember?
I think we might have been, I can't remember at the time. I'm just shooting off the top of my head. I think it might have been about 600.
Yeah.
So I think we either between me and Brendan, we split it 50-50 to it was either 300 or 400 each.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's not too bad.
It's doable.
Now, so, well, you know, for the sake of getting into a good spot and, you know, so you can put more time in the hunting more than the traveling and fucking yourself over, like it's a small payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's the best bit of gear to take, or your recommendation for a bit of gear to take with you, like spikes for your boots or what?
I ordered the gripper things for your boots, and I was like, at the time, I was like, no, I'm saving those for when we go chasing tail with the bow. So and it's meant to be like shit weather later in the week, so I'll need those then. So I'll leave those in the car, and I'll just go up to the mountain because it should be just all like grassy flats and tops all the way up there. And we get up there, and Brendan brought his along, and you know, like I had to follow him along some of the frozen snow and icy bits because we didn't realize it snowed up there like a couple of weeks before, and it hadn't melted at all. So if you, they got them fairly cheap off eBay, and I've never used them, but I've hung on to them for like any future trips.
Mm.
Did get an ice axe. That was super handy, especially if you find yourself cutting across those icy snow bits, because you can dig yourself in a track to cut across the hill, or you can use it as an improvised walking stick, even though it's only that short, so it's probably fucking useless as that. But like it was a handy bit of gear to have when we were chasing a mob of about 4 or 5 chamois across the cliffs.
Yeah, they're a bit more nimble across the
mountains. As far as the best bit of gear to have, I didn't have it because I think I had one of those EPIRBs at the time, and I think it ran out of date last year. But I was still in date for when we did that hunt. I had that for emergencies, but Brendan had one of those Garmin InReaches.
Mm-hmm.
So that was real handy, because that way, like when we were on top of the hill and we could see down the hill, we could get phone service. So we could like message home and like ring the missus and check in on the kids and all that. But if we were anywhere else, we had no service. But like we could use the InReach to send texts back home just to check in and see how things are. Like you send it on your phone would send it to the InReach send it to the GPS and send the text to your missus's phone, and then she can reply, send it back, and you can get off. And that's if you've got like a zero service in a shitty part of the world where you just want to check in on the family or whatever's going on. I'm pretty sure Zach had one when he went over to Snake Island.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He has one just going down to the shops, to be honest, but that's good. It's a bit of a drive-by for you, Zach. Anyway. Cool, man. No, that's handy. I didn't really know about them, to be honest. So there you go. For people who didn't know, that's handy for sure.
You didn't know about shoe spikes.
No, not shoe spikes.
Or Garmin
InReach. Yeah. I didn't know how it worked. So
how was one thing, because that's something I'm thinking about as well, heading to New Zealand next year. But like taking your rifle and stuff across there, like the process to do that, how is it?
And
so when I went over in, what was it, like 2015, 2016, when I was 18, I went over to the North Island to do a DIY seeker hunt, and I did all the paperwork and all that there. New Zealand side of things, at the time, was pretty easy. Like you said, right, easy gun. You pay your $25 for a New Zealand firearms license. You walk into the cop shop in the airport, they check your serial numbers. Right, that all matches up. Off you go. We'll see when you come back. In Australia, it's like, right, you got to declare that. You got to tell me which plane you're about to jump on. You got to give me all the serial numbers. You got to tell me the exact amount of ammo that you're taking over, and you got to tell me the exact amount of ammo you're going to be coming back with. You got to, like, for people who have done it a heap of times, it's pretty straightforward. But like for me, at the time, it was pretty daunting. It was daunting enough, and I had a shit time getting back over because they were trying to tell me that I couldn't take my gun on coming back, even though I had all the paperwork. They were going to fight me tooth and nail on it, and I was like, "No, I've got the paperwork. Like, it's all legit." Which is why I boycott Jetstar. anyway, but since that experience, I myself don't travel with my rifle internationally anymore. So like, I make a big effort to like make sure I'm going to borrow a rifle over there. Yeah. In which case, for the chamois trip, like I made a few calls and organised a few things, and I managed to get a hold of a 280 Ackley to borrow, and it fucking shot.
That's amazing.
It was a good gun.
That's amazing. I suppose it saves a bit of the drama if you can borrow something over there, but I guess it's you try. It's a bit of a trade off, isn't it? You're not using your own bit of kit, so you're not 100% familiar. Yeah.
My philosophy on firearms, especially on guns, is like if the guy that owns it is super confident with it, there's no reason you shouldn't be.
Oh, I don't know about that because Caleb's super confident with his fucking tweaker, but I wouldn't be. I'll be like, nah, hard pass. I'll use mine.
Well, maybe I'm just fucking talented with any gun I'm given, so who knows?
That's the difference between a good shooter and a shit shooter is you're good with everything shots. And, like an average shooter is not good. Like, I had this thought in my head a few weeks ago, to be honest. I'm like, because I was thinking about exactly the same thing, using Caleb's gun to shoot a fox. And I'm like, you know, if I was a good shooter, I'd be like, yep, okay, I'll use his rifle, but, you know, I'm not confident with it. And it sort of says something a little bit about your skills, I think. Like, I don't know, that's just me.
You just decide to mess with your own instead.
Mess with my own.
Miss with your own.
I hit 2 out of 3. That's all right. I'll take that. I'll take them odds.
Okay.
Anyway, you guys bigger enough.
With the rifle I borrowed because I asked our mates, I'm like, right, so what sort of range are you getting out of this? And he goes, oh, the other week we took it out and we were shooting target a kilometre away.
Yeah,
just to see if we could hit them and we were dropping them.
Yeah, nice.
But like but the problem was like we were getting chamois, like I think it was 108 metres shot off the shoulder. So like I didn't even have to worry about buddy dialing the rifle in. I could just plop it off the shoulder.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's not bad off the shoulder. 108 metres. That's pretty good. Fucking hell.
I do it with your rifle, Josh, not mine.
Hence the bad shooters. Oh, we're all bad shooters here. If you're a good shooter, you do it with mine.
Dude, I was completely joking then. There's plenty of times where you've shot mine, like in my early days, you've shot mine and shot better than me with my rifle. Just because at the time you were the better shooter.
At the time. Fuck.
Like, I'm not going to say you're still not. You're probably still all right, you're definitely still the better shooter, Josh, but that's just down to years of experience. So whatever. So I would have thought that's a strange thing to say, is that you don't feel confident on my rifle.
No, when I'm putting an animal's life on the stake, then I'd just rather use mine, man. I'd rather be ethical.
You've changed, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking changed, my friend.
Well, I'm going to change and take a piss. That's what I'm going to do.
Really?
Yeah. I'm busting, man.
All right, I'll hit pause then. Sorry, Cody. All right, we're back now. Have you relieved yourself?
There is your prompt.
Suitably?
I have.
Well, then
you were already recording.
Now we are. Ask the next question of our guest, Josh.
All right, I will. What's your favourite movie, buddy?
You know what? That's one of the most hardest bloody questions you could ask me, because when I was single, I used to spend every Thursday night going to the cinemas and just watching movies at 9 o'clock at night. So like any new movie that came out, so like just meet up with the boys. We'll go see whatever's out. For just action and being a gun nut, I'll go the Lethal Weapon films.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Sweet
just because, you know, what's wrong with seeing Mel Gibson, buddy, shoot up a few blokes every now and then?
It's definitely that 80s style movie. Like, they just had like a way of making movies back then that, yeah, just timeless. Absolutely timeless.
Well, I'm guessing you must have like a bit of a memory of movies, because if you're making memes, you sort of got to have something that's like simmering away back there to be able to go, oh, that kind of reminds me of what happened in this movie or this series or whatever. So how do you do it, man?
Yeah, the way my brain works is not useful in terms of like my mother would say things like to me, it's like, how is it that you can quote the entire Australian episode of The Simpsons but not know how to do algebra?
Yeah,
I'm like, no. I just don't give a fuck about algebra. Like, Simpsons is funny. What do you want from me?
That is
but yeah,
true.
in terms of just remembering quotes and just remembering stupid shit, like I'm phenomenal at that. So I'm handy to have a trivia night, but if for anything else, I'm fucking useless.
Yeah, no, that's fair. If you're good at something, you always give up something.
No, it's relative to learning. That's how we learn. It's obviously comedy and interest. Oh, I mean, interest is a common one, but learning by comedy. If you're learning by and can recite The Simpsons, then yeah.
Speaking of memes, though, what sort of brought you into making memes? When did you start?
Well, back in we were doing, I was just used to make memes between mates.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like something stupid they did on the weekend or whatever, and I just make it and send it to them just to get a laugh. And then I found out that there was Simpson pages dedicated to making memes. So I sort of got hooked in on that, trying to do that and be funny. And then I started making hunting ones, but you send a few people said, oh, is that funny? And people were like, oh, no, I want to post that up. That's a bit controversial. Going, oh, rightio. I won't put that up. I made a heap that no one sees, just because I was going on. We shouldn't talk about Adam Gertrude jumping fences.
Oh, shit.
I think we've alluded to that before, but never mentioned names.
I believe he didn't have any charges.
We'll say
him.
Adam G then.
A well-known hunting identity.
I got to admit,
But no, then
I love
I
it.
started
Man.
making. You go.
No, you're all right. Keep going.
When I started listening to you boys and just listen to the flat out shit that you talk, I'm just going, these guys are going to make it too easy. I've got to make something.
Especially Josh.
Fair call.
I loved it actually. The one about Caleb and the black dude, or what was it?
Like the Bukaki thing.
Yeah, the other week. That was fucking hilarious, man. I was the one that shared that because I'm like, nah, fuck this. It's been my turn way too much. Fuck this motherfucker. That's it. It's going on the page. I'm pretty sure you noticed it and you were like, nah, fuck you. I reckon you would have had a thought in your head where you were like, I'm going to take this down. I reckon you would have.
No, because it was like, whatever. Like I said, whatever I said in the podcast. So whatever happens after that, it's fair game. Like,
Yeah.
people are going to interpret it however they want.
As long as people get a laugh, who cares?
Yeah, that's true. It's good. Keep them coming, man. Well, absolutely love it.
We do appreciate it, man. It's good. It's very good.
We need to give you some more ammo. I feel like we've been a bit dry lately. We need to get a little bit more drunk, but we're starting these podcasts a bit later on in the night, and everyone's a wee bit tired because they're getting their fucking
working
tampons
That's
on
why.
and all the rest of it. But that's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there.
You'll get there. You give me the ammo and I'll destroy it.
I'm going to go into podcast now. We're trying to give you ammo against these two fellas. All right, on that note, sorry, go on, man. Nah. It's late at night again. My brain doesn't work past
No,
8.
you're the question master. If I can get it
Yeah,
right.
keep going.
Come on.
Rolling on.
Definitely not as seamless as the way you do it, but you have been doing it
Caleb
since
does
day
well.
one, Caleb.
Settle down. Go on.
All right, so big question, important question. Who do you recommend to have on this podcast?
That's fucking hard because you've already had a heap of bloody cool people on that I would have recommended. So I'm going to recommend my good mate. Like, he's not on social media at all, but like, he's a good hunter and he's just got a great sense of humor. I reckon he'd do well, and he would be Nick Kilby.
Kilby.
He's the man who taught me all about my bow hunting and sort of was a bit of a mentor for me, and he's just become a very close good friend through that, and can do a mean Herbert the Pervert impression.
Hey, Chris, I got a popsicle for you. Neither of these two watch Family Guy, man.
Nah.
So they would have no idea what you're talking about.
I know who you're talking about, but it doesn't. I can't just recite it.
Yeah, I do vaguely know, but I don't resonate to the same level you do.
Family Guy's sick, mate. Any not watch Family Guy.
I've watched like 2 episodes of Family Guy in my life.
That is disgusting.
I've watched like 2 episodes of Simpsons.
Pull
in
your
my life.
tampon out and watch them.
Okay, you should
I'm
watch Simpsons.
busy learning
at least.
how to read and write instead of fucking.
No one needs to read and write, man. You're struggling. It fucking hasn't worked out well, has it?
Yeah. Apart from Nick, I would Lawson White, who I did buddy Balin Scaling barbecuing with last week.
I am.
Yep.
Just because he's got a bit of a background. Like, he was a guide up in the Cape, but his main passion is pig hunting, especially with dogs.
Yep.
So I know you guys are a little bit curious to know more on that side of things. I don't know any hound hunters for sambar. I'd recommend one of them, but just on terms of the pig side of things, I reckon he might be a little good insight on that side.
Yeah, nice. No, that's a good recommendation. You're right. We are after that. We did have a hound hunter reach out to us recently, actually, so we might hit him up to learn a bit more in that space. But yeah, we've been chatting about.
And in terms of getting like a real badass hunter on, I recommend Baz Hadid, the brown fox.
Right.
Yep.
Seen him about.
Good one. Very good.
I've seen some of his.
He's a very down to earth bloke and super friendly. So, and he's just a fucking legend as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know,
Seen his recent sheep hunts, man. Fuck. I'm jealous.
Yeah, that Marco Polo. Oh,
I have not seen that.
I haven't, but okay.
Yeah, super jealous. We'd love to get him on, actually. I've been following him for a while. But I think that we've definitely talked about the dog, getting someone about like with dogs on. So I think that's our next step.
Like, it's something we need to dive into to just sort of understand that style of hunting more. And for us, it's not all about just sticking to rifles, and like we help support the bows, but we don't hunt with bows. So that's sort of the main thing for us, is to understand all disciplines and sort of get a feel.
It's a foreign concept because like rifle hunting's hard enough as it is, and then you got bow hunting, and then you're going to want to run a dog whilst you're hunting as well and look after the dog. I'm like, that's starting to get confusing, but I get why people do it, but it just seems intricate. My brain doesn't work too well with intricate things.
in this part of the world, pig dogging's a way of life. Like I was the odd one out because I was into deer hunting, where everyone else in school, like, they would have gone like pig dogging the night before and during the middle of the week, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Like everyone did it.
Yeah.
And they still do it. But like, yeah, for me, I was like, I did dabble in it a little bit, but I never got to the point where I owned a dog or went out every weekend with the boys to go find a mountain bull or go out west to chase a few hogs. I never got to that point of it, but I did like go out like a handful of times doing it.
Yeah.
You were a rifle hunter first before taking up bows as well?
Yeah, I'm dedicated rifle hunter and dedicated bow hunter. But yeah, like I'm never going to give up the rifle, but I'm never going to give up the bow either. Like I pick and choose when I want to do it. Like I'll be out. So the bow's there. That thing looks stalkable. I'll take the bow. Or I'll be like, oh shit, there's a few pigs getting around at the moment. I better take the rifle out and bloody knock a few down.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Kind of.
We're all on bows and rifle. Last question. What was your first rifle?
My first rifle was this.
Oh, hello.
It's a Seiko Grizzly chambered in 3006.
Oof.
Nice.
Bloody hell.
Show and tell.
That's your first rifle.
Oh, wee.
That's my first rifle.
Wow. What age did you get that one?
Yeah, 18.
Very nice. Very nice.
I grew up shooting the farm rifles and whatnot, but I really wanted to get a big deer caliber.
Yep.
And I was looking at the takers and Brownings and whatnot at the time, and the old man just walked up to me and goes, "If you're gonna buy a stupid fucking caliber, you may as well make it a really good rifle." Rightio. So,
It's not as bad as a 270, man, so, you know, 3006 is good.
yeah, brain cells go a bit loose when you shoot a 270, I'm told.
When you buy one, mate. When you choose to buy one, that's when your brain starts going loose.
The lip starts to drop down again. Yes, Zach, that was aimed at you.
Yeah, get into him. Fucking hell. Man, you won't see too many grizzlies around anymore, to be honest. Any of those old Seikos.
Nah, not really. I know a bloke that owned one of the brown bears in a stupid caliber. I can't remember what it was. One of like the 6.7s or something like that. Like a really random caliber that you had to hand load yourself, sort of thing, rather than buy factory ammo. But yeah, like I bought that I took that to New Zealand with me. It's taken out red stags, it's taken out fallow, and took the chittle out. Taking out a ton of pigs, it's my go-to gun. When I started working for the farm, part of the deal was I had to do a traineeship, and when you did a traineeship at the time, Gillard was the Prime Minister, and they introduced the toolbox allowance. I was like, I'm a farmer, so I need a rifle, so I spent the $900 off the government on the gun.
It's very well spent. Bloody hell.
Mind you, it was at the time it was like a $2,400 gun at the time.
Probably fucking worth way more than that now. Fucking hell.
The old Seikos. Well, Couch and I were actually just talking about Seikos on the weekend, and specifically I was talking about your old man Josh's.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Seiko 85?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had 22 to 50.
No, 74.
I can't remember which one's which.
One of the
but
74.
either way, you had two Seikos. One was
The Grizzlies at 85.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a 22-250 and a 308, and those things was primarily what we used initially when I first got into hunting and
same
going
for
out
me,
with Josh
yeah.
and his old man. And those things were just beautiful, like timber stocks, and you had to be so careful not to ding them, but we always managed to be really careful with them. And they just shot beautifully, so nice to use. And I was actually a little bit upset when the old man shot when he sold his 22-250 because I fucking would have bought that.
I think we all would have bought that.
Yeah, I think we all would have bought up, just lined up, just because we've all just put down so many things with that 22-250. Just a beautiful gun to shoot.
It was one of those rifles where it doesn't matter who you gave it to, you just hit a 5-cent coin at 100. So it's just like everyone was confident with it, everyone loved it, and then now it's gone. So thanks, Boyd.
Yeah, that rifle, my old man had the 75. I don't know if it was 223 or 222 years ago, like, but it was before my time.
Yeah.
At least I think. And like, you know, he said like you could bloody cut holes with it. Like it was like the best gun you could ever grab. Like if he had to go through all the guns that he's fired for his lifetime and he had the bloody have an accuracy comp, like he'd pick up that rifle. But it got to the point like it started shooting back a little bit off. Then it eventually got worse. So he gave it to my uncle to take down to a gun shop to get him to have a look, like thinking, the barrel's out and then get rebarreled. Obviously, the gun shop found a sucker and was like, oh no, she's completely fucked. How about you trade it in on this Ruger? 223.
Oh, no.
Ouch.
Which he did. And then the Ruger was so much worse. You can hit two shots perfectly, but then the next shot would be over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, it was considered the big rifle when I was growing up, and you know, you go out spotlighting with it, you're nearly guaranteed by the third shot you're going to miss the road because you didn't know where the bullet was going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like that for years till like eventually they were like, oh, maybe we'll shave the barrel down and like change the chambering and all that, and now it shoots fine again. But like what we worked out the problem was, I think sure, buddy, the old boy still regrets not thinking about it, is that they never cleaned it. Never put a rod through it, and I'd never thought about put a bit of oil through it and give it a good clean. Like it never got cleaned its entire life. So obviously the gun shop has gone, I know what the problem is.
Yeah.
Let's make some easy money.
How long did you shoot it for without cleaning it? Like, do you know a time period roughly?
Oh, would have been years.
Yeah. That's doing right then by the sounds of it.
Yeah, like doing fairly well. He just thought they shot it that much, they wore the barrel out. Like they thought they got to that point.
Fuck.
But yeah, just never thought like, oh, you actually got to clean these things.
Shoot it out.
It's a testimony to the Seiko, though. They are, for a mass-produced gun, they're
a nice rifle.
fucking quality. Well, absolutely perfect, to be honest.
They were nice. That story reminds me a bit of my old man when he went and bought a lawnmower once, and it was at a second-hand place, and they had it for a certain price, and he said, okay, anything wrong with it? Like, I can't start it. He's like, I'll give you $50 for it. And they're like, oh, what do you mean? He's like, well, you can't start, so I'm not paying that. I'll give you $50. And they're like, you know what's wrong with it, don't you? He's like, yep, take my $50 or not. Took it home, changed the spark plugs, the thing fired away, and he was a great old mower. Like that, I've mowed many a lawn with that when I was a kid.
It's $50 well spent.
Yeah, true.
That's handy to know stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like you do have to clean your gun every now and then
Do you?
Just clean your gun with some high caliber.
with high caliber.
Oh, this is a segue.
We
again.
did get a question actually, Couchy. Have you, based on the ad,
What's this high caliber stuff?
have you actually got some yet?
Nah, I've actually got some, and it's working a treat. I love it.
Yeah, it is good stuff.
So,
the real
Did
question
you use
is,
the promo code to get 10% off?
no, like everyone else, I forgot the promo code, and I just bought it anyway.
the real question is, did he use it? Has he used it yet?
I
That's
have
the real
used it. I
question.
used it on the Sunday night when I got home after the hunt. So,
Yeah, good on you.
yeah.
surprised
Try
actually.
and stay on top of it. My 308 shoot's bad enough as it is. Let's not make it worse.
As long as you clean
So-
my Recipro before you give it back to me, I'll be
I
right.
have already cleaned that.
Oh, have you?
Yes,
you finished
I have.
with it?
I've cleaned your game bags as well.
You have?
And your esky.
Have you brought them back?
No, I forgot that. Well, I'm guessing you'll want some of the meat. So I'll just probably pack them in your esky as I bring it back.
Oh, you're holding it to ransom, are you?
No, it just makes it easier for
All
everyone.
right, one transaction. I like that.
Yeah.
Cody, we do have to ask you, mate, what's next? You're doing the dad thing at the moment. You've got a 3-month-old at home. But, what's your next big hunting trip planned?
At the moment, I'm just banking up cash to do like a big trip for me 30th.
Ooh.
Is what I want to do. Whether that actually happens or not, because, sometimes priorities come up in life that you got to buddy put money towards that instead.
Yeah.
True.
So whether I actually save up enough money to do a big trip or not, doesn't matter. Like, we'll see how that goes. I am trying to get organised to do the Deer Expo and do a sambar hunt while I'm down there. Get organised to do that. But yeah, like as far as like a big trip is concerned, like I'm just saving money up and always just looking at my options of where to go or what to go after. But it's gonna be like an international trip, like whether it's to hunt ibex or bloody go to North America and chase elk or something. Like I'll work something out.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. Either one of those towns sound absolutely wicked. Ibex or elk.
It sounds like you need to chase some wolves if you can.
Yeah, well, they're affordable, but I just want to go for one of the. Ideally, if I can, I like to do a doll sheep hunt. That's like what I really want to do in life, but don't know if I'll be able to bank up enough cash to actually pull that one off.
Yep.
Yeah.
How much is an ibex hunt?
An ibex, they're not too bad. I think they're like. It all depends on which ibex you're going for. Like, you're going after a Spanish ibex, or you're going after an alpine ibex, or which one? Like, I think the ones that Baz and Ben Solaris and Mick Rodolfi went after in Kyrgyzstan, I think they were like near the. I might be completely fucking off on this, but I might be $5,000, or maybe closer to 10. It might be 10. 10 sounds a bit better.
Starting to get bad.
Pick a number.
I'll just take fellow deer in South Australia because we're plebs.
So you've done personally New Zealand and Croatia. Where else have you been, man?
I've done Illinois to a whitetail deer,
Oh, nice.
but yeah, I didn't even fucking draw the bow back. I think the closest was a doe. I had a doe tag, and she came into 55, but I didn't want to shoot past 40. And the big buck I really wanted to get, he never came closer than 75.
Bugger.
So yeah, spent like 5 days in a blind in Illinois, watching all the whitetails. But he walked through the field, but never come in the bow range.
With bow range, like you say your max is 40. Now, is that black and white, 41's too far? Or is it like 40 and you're like, I'll take 40 to 45? Do you have sort of them sort of moments where you contemplate just pushing it that little bit further because it's the shot you got?
Yeah, I will push it out to 45.
Yep.
In that set, but like if it's beyond like 40 to 45, it's like you just got to buddy just aim that little bit higher for the shot to go. But like anything beyond that, it's like, the arrow's taking a longer time to get there. Like things react differently, like in all that time. So like things can just change in a split second. Even if you are dead on, things can just go wrong in that few hundredths of a second when that arrow's sent flying. I have shot a goat and killed it successfully at 50.
Yep.
But just from the time that I released and the arrow sailed and double lunged it, I was like, that felt way too long for it to hit. Like you almost compared to like a rifle, like you hear the thud when you hear a rifle. Like, oh yeah, no, that definitely hit. But then like you're released in like that bit of a time where it's like this is taking too long. Have I hit it or not? Then you hear that thud, that cutting thud. And it's oh yeah, no, it did hit. Well, did I hit it right?
You see a lot of videos of like, deer hunters through bows and how low they're actually aiming at a deer just for that drop. Pretty sure it's a drop. Yeah,
Jump on
they
the
sort of,
string, yeah.
It seems like they're almost aiming like a foot below their sort of point of aim.
Yeah, for what they aim for when the animal's jumping string.
Yeah.
Usually that's when they hear the bow first before they. That's usually how it works. Like the animal hears the bow and is like, "What the fuck?" And that makes it jumps. Oh, got to get out of the way.
It's really sort of just shows you how much time that has passed from release to impact. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, especially like they hear it and it's like the instinct's just to go, "Huh, what was that?" Like just get out of it. Everything's dangerous, and then work out what it was later. And I think it's usually like the bigger the animal, the quicker they drop to move, because it's more weight going down. I think is the few weeks. I could be completely dead wrong on that. Like I'm not an expert on this, but it's from what I've heard, like an elk would probably drop quicker than a whitetail would, but then at the same time, whitetail are super fucking quick when you watch all the videos of them dropping. So my little spiel there probably means fuck all.
Try it for yourself. No, I think that makes sense, to be honest. But without not being a bow hunter myself, I haven't seen it firsthand, so I can't really comment at all. So I'll leave it at that.
One day, maybe.
You gotta get past your T-Rex arms, man. They're gonna make a youth bow for you or something.
I'll borrow yours. It's all good. Oh, dear. Well, Cody, we do have to say a big thank you to you, man, for being on the show tonight. Yeah, you've been a really good supporter of it. So we do have to say a big thank you for being on the show, but also for supporting us and listening to our shenanigans over and over and over and over again and making those memes, man. It's pretty cool what you do, what you come up with, how your brain works. It's unique for sure.
How you got to go making memes about yourself? That's the thing. There's got to be one of you.
If I've done a complete fuck up or like something that's like it's going to be held down on me, I'm more than ready to take the piss. But trying to think of shit on the fly, I was like, oh no, I don't think that's that funny. It's better if someone else made it. So righto, they thought it was funny.
Fair enough.
Not just making memes, man. Your videos, they're pretty sweet. Keep them coming. How can everyone find you on Instagram and your YouTube to watch these videos and follow your hunting?
Right, so the YouTube channel is Dropping Game with Cody Gearon. Dropping with no G's, is DROPPIN.
Dropping.
Game with Cody Gearon. Cody Gearon is my Instagram. Just Cody Gearon, one word, like no underscore or dots or anything. Is just all one word.
Yep.
That's all you need to find. And yeah, like if anyone wants to bloody hit me up for a yarn, like I'm more than happy to talk shit with them as much as I've talked shit with you boys.
Awesome.
Beautiful, man. Well, we'll leave it there, and we've got to say a big thank you to you. And yeah, keep those memes coming, man, because they're good fun.
Yeah.
Always.
Beautiful. All right, cool. And we'll catch everyone next week.
Yeah, we will.
Catch, guys. Cheers,
Cheers, Cody. See you, mate.
Gotcha.
Catch you, buddy.
He's rolled a good catcher there.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.